Janam is a left-wing activist theatre group based in New Delhi, India, and we were founded in 1973. We've been an integral part of people's movements in India for the last 50 years, and we perform in the open, in places where people live and work, in factory and working class areas, schools, colleges, parks, street corners, at protest sites, everywhere. Over the decades, we've faced several attacks. The most deadly of these was in 1989 when one of our founders, Safdar Hashmi, was killed. We were attacked when doing a play on workers' rights. Just as we take our plays among the people, we also take print material. This exhibition is one such example. Many of our plays have images and words on placards that the audiences can see and read from a distance. One instance was Ye Dil Mange More Guruji, a play on the 2002 sectarian violence that targeted Muslims in the state of Gujarat in Western India. There is also a play that traces the history of May Day in which printed material is used. Sometimes characters become carriers of written text.
There's a range of print material around our performances and events. For instance, there are the handbills. Now, these are often printed by organizations that invite us to perform, like trade unions, farmers' organizations, women's organizations, etc. And this is particularly true when we travel to smaller towns like Rohtak, Bhiwani, Phagwada, Jalandhar, Muzaffarpur, Kanpur, Banaras, Patna, Siwan, etc.
We used to print invitation cards for some of our programs, especially the 1st January commemoration of Safdar's killing or the memorial lecture in his name. With smartphones and social media, that has now stopped. But we continue to print wall posters. We find that posters are still useful and relevant, particularly in working class neighborhoods. Our print runs have also remained the same. People like to look and read posters as they gather around at a tea shop, for example, or wait for a bus.
Since the early 1990s, we've also published books, pamphlets, cards, and a theatre journal. The overall idea has been to think critically about the connections between art, culture, politics, and the people. We ran a journal called Nukkad Janam Samvad for 20 years, but eventually we had to wind it up because, over time we found that we weren't being able to sell and distribute it effectively. In this age of so much digital noise around us, I feel that printed materials, particularly books, have a value and longevity that sometimes we tend to underestimate. Also, the reach is phenomenal. Now, my book on Safdar called Halla Bol or Arjun Ghosh's book on Janam have reached readers where, we as Janatya Manch as a theatre group would never have been able to reach.
The kind of work we do, socially and politically engaged theatre, has traditionally not got much space in the press. Earlier, we used to get some coverage at least, but now with the corporate and the right-wing stranglehold over the media, that has come down a lot. But we continue doing what we do, whether the press reports it or not.